Now, without further ado, let's jump straight in. Our first story is about that segment of the population which is often overlooked. People living at the very bottom of the poverty pyramid. People living in slums. Now, I recently spoke with Philippe Deroux, Chief Executive and founder of Better with Water, a utility that specialises in serving exactly this demographic. I opened by asking Philippe to tell me more about what Better with Water is and what it is that they do.
Better with Water is a kind of utility specialized in slums, working in slums. So you know that it's a huge challenge in many cities worldwide. It's growing, the cities are growing, and we really serve the last mile people, those who usually are not part of the urban planning, are not part of the clients, like regular clients of water operators, and we go and serve them.
We'll talk about those in a minute. Just give me a sense of the scale. How many people do you serve and in which parts of the world?
We serve every day 60,000 people, so you see still small, but growing, in 28 slums of the Philippines, Manila, Cebu, Tacloban, Bangladesh. We work in Dhaka and Chattogram city.
Again, so that's good to understand who you're serving. Now, give me a sense of the organizational structure. How many people work for Better with Water and where are they based?
We are 160, so we are a small multinational with 10 people in the HQ in France, and then the rest of the team based, of course, locally. 35% of them come from the area of intervention, meaning the plumbers, the collectors, the community facilitators. So we hire people from the slum. So we also create jobs.
Wonderful. That is such a beautiful story, isn't it? And of course, 60,000 people out of all the slums that are out there, we've got a very long way to go. Right. And is it water and sanitation the services that you provide?
It's water first, which is the entry point. And it's very important to know that it is water at home. We do tap water because most of the project in slum, usually you have communal faucet managed by the community. And we believe that the community, they cannot manage complex services. Of course, they should support the utility. But when it comes to manage, meters, pumps, water tanks, the maintenance and everything, the community should not be in front line. It should be a business. Yes. So, but then when you enter this kind of community, you have to manage informal things, to say it that way. And of course, you need to have a social development work, which is very important. So it's a kind of hybrid structure where we put together the water at the utility and then social development, social services, such as hygiene, such as firefighting, which is key, such as waste, cleanliness of the environment, and sanitation.
Sorry, social firefighting? What do you mean actual firefighting?
No, sorry. I mean social development. And among those services, we have fire brigades that are mobilized within the communities to be able to manage all the fires and problems related to, if there is an earthquake or a big typhoon like that. First aid.
Right. So you're providing water services initially to people in their homes on slums, as opposed to them being community sanitation services. I've had the experience. I've gone to a few slums and I've seen them. You go down these very narrow streets and you come to a sort of
exactly. Technically, this is a huge challenge, of course. And for sanitation, we can come back to it. But it's we are piloting something to make it as systematic as water. But it is technically and socially complex, very complex. One very key things also I want to say: when we target an area, we serve every family, even the one at the back, usually the poorest. They have also access to tap water. Most of services usually serve the one along the main road, the richest, I would say, of the slum.
Sorry, there might be people listening to this who aren't familiar with how a slum, the demographic inside a slum. Could you just take 30 seconds just to paint that picture for me, please?
Yes, of course. A slum is like usually 200 to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 families working in informal settlement, living in informal settlements, usually along rivers, along the shores, places where nobody wants to go. We, with Better with Water, serve this kind of area, like ranging Yeah, 300 families, which means 1,500 people, to a big one in Dakar with almost 4,000 families, which is like a mini city.
And the idea being that there's usually a corridor, and as you said, the richer families tend to be closest to that corridor, and the poorer you are, the lower you are on the pecking order, you are further back. Which means that your access to water and sanitation services is even more compromised.
That was a segment from a much longer interview, which we can make available, in which Philippe shares how they interface with local utilities, how they manage the volatility of day-to-day payment collections, what they do when people don't pay, and perhaps most impressively, the astonishing impact they've had on reducing non-revenue water, because in slums, most non-revenue water is actually down to illegal connections. It's a brilliant interview, and I really do encourage you to listen to it separately. It was just too long for this broadcast. But as we finished that discussion, I asked Philippe whether there was any other key learnings that he thought it would be good to share here. And here is his answer.
The other key point is that if you want to enter such kind of areas, you need to work the social side, meaning to say you cannot enter such an area without community mobilization, community empowerment, without social activities, because like when you enter, the first, I would say, stakeholder would be the mafia. Would be the what we call the traditional leaders, and sometimes they don't want you to enter. So you have to empower everyone to be able to say that, especially women, you will talk to the leaders, you will talk to your husband, so that they will give up with their, illegal tapping things, and let Better with Water enter, because we will have a much cheaper water at home. So this is the kind of thing that takes time also, and this makes also the big difference with the classical water utilities.
Yeah, not that this is a story of mine, but I've done some work in a similar part of the world where when facilities were commissioned, they had solar panels on them. And they were, when at the commissioning, you had the local voodoo priest there to sort of give it its blessing. You had the local Catholic priest, and you also had the local gang leader there. And it was the gang leader who was probably the most important, because that was what ensured that no one was going to mess with this facility.
And we have to talk with everyone. So I talked to them, and our team talked to everyone. And then we believe that everyone in the end can also work for the common good, especially if they have the with a gentle pressure of their wife working with.
Right. Brilliant. Philippe, it is a wonderful pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for taking the time today to share that insight. Because of time, I'm not going to talk about sanitation, but I might well come back to you to do a sanitation bit, because the sanitation side...
It's a long story also.
What a wonderful man he is. I'm in awe of what Better with Water does. If you want to hear that full interview, let me know. We can share the link.